it that way. All right, so it's week 12. It's the second chapter on nuclear energy that we'll dive into here. I'm not going to spend a heck of a lot of time on it because I think it's a few key concepts to look at in the book. We did cover some of the fundamentals of conventional nuclear power last time. Chapter 11 looks at the future of nuclear power, and it appears as if there will be that future. But first, let's just look at summary 3 a little bit. We've spent a couple lectures on it already, but I think it's one of those critical skills that I don't want to send you out of this course packing without knowing. So let's just take a look at the forum. And Matt, you said you uploaded something here?
There I am.
There you are, summary 3. Is that you basking in the glory of Iceland? Is that?
I was in Iceland and
yeah.
there was a little rock in the middle of the hot spring.
Uh-huh.
So the girls were posing
Uh-huh.
and everything from Italy. So I went over there and did a mermaid pose.
Uh-huh. Nice.
And that
Good.
was my mermaid pose. My feet were all pointed upward.
Synchronized
And then
swimming
the
with the
people that
mermaids.
we were making fun of started taking pictures of me making fun of them.
Of course.
So I'm like, this is
That's how
awesome.
you build the rapport. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay, so here's what I think I'll do. I'm just gonna let you take a peek into my grading mind. So this is what I'll do, and I'll first.
What do you explain in your 300 words?
Is that your summary?
Yeah.
That's your summary 3?
Yeah.
Well, you have to have the graphs.
Well,
Okay, well, here I'll.
Don't cry.
It's okay, it's okay. Well, here's what I'll show you. This is what I would do right off the bat. So, file, save as.
I just didn't think about.
I'll tell you what to do. It's okay, it's okay. We'll figure it out. It's okay, it's okay. Courses, 101. And here's how I organize the courses. So this is the first summary 3 I've looked at. Summary 3, open. Remind me how to spell your last name, Matt.
SEATON.
Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is label this with your last name so that I can find it. So when you're submitting your work, use your last name as the first characters in the summary. So that's first thing to note. Next thing to note is that you want a catchy title. Catchy title.
Should have written this down.
And I've put this on previous summaries, so keyboard's acting up a little bit. Center it. Okay. And this is not part of the summary. This would be something that you wrote in an email. This isn't part of the summary, so I would just put a red line through that.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so the topic. Another thing I think you should consider is using a little indent on paragraphs. That's something I do, so use that little ruler at the top. Follows a slope in an upward direction. That's good. So using technical language like this is good. Good. Use of technical, quantitative language. You'll want to, throw some numbers in there as well. Let's discuss and here's why you'll want to say dive into the accuracy issue further.
Oh, okay.
Just say why.
Yeah, that was
Right.
It's actually a pretty good little
Yeah.
article.
And then also, yeah, it is. And then state state your prediction. for the population, carbon emissions, and your variable of choice for the day predicted. If it's 40 days out, just state what that is, and then, so there you're becoming, it's allowing you to become the scientist, right? Because that's the point. I'm gonna do some modeling, I'm gonna make a prediction, and then you see later if you're right or not. Yes?
Cool.
So are we supposed to choose 3 variables? So the
You choose one
population,
variable.
carbon-
I choose 2 for you, population and carbon, and then you choose 1. Yeah,
Fun, okay.
yeah. Bicycle production or
Days of past.
drug abuse or whatever, so,
Oh, well, I guess I could look at the screenshots that I already have and just choose one that got captured,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, or you could borrow a classmate's, go to the forum and say, hey, give me your data.
There's quite a few.
Yeah, yeah.
Took screenshots, I didn't,
No,
so.
I did.
Well, thanks for
Yeah,
going
you
over,
can look at my dad.
You can share data.
going over that.
For sure.
What's that?
Thanks for going over
write
that.
down your
And then
email.
I'll,
Then I
fix
will.
it.
Yeah.
I'll
I
adjust
still
that
gotta
this
do my
evening.
3rd one.
Okay.
tomorrow.
So let's see if I can find another one. So that's my grade, and I would give that summary probably a 10%, just because you didn't have any, I don't think there are actually 300 words there,
Yeah.
and there are no figures.
There was 3 well, I included that 2 sentences,
Yeah.
and so that would have given me 300, but when we.
Yeah, no. And the other point I think here is not really to aim for the minimum.
Mhm.
300 is the minimum, and if we were, yeah.
Trying to stay
Is it the
close.
point, and the 300 is it's like the bar, when it's not, so jump well over the bar, don't try to skim your gym shorts on it or whatever.
Because some teachers want it to be like at 300, when they suggest like the 300, that's what they want. So,
No.
it's all good in my little fix it.
Okay, so I'll do that. Let's see what else is out there.
The online guide has posted another.
What's that?
Summary, the 3.
We have something due early next week too?
Yeah.
Another test, right?
Yeah. Fire that one up.
Yeah, I wish there was a little tutorial to figure out how to do all the graphics.
There are, I've posted 3 YouTube videos now on exactly how to do it. They're all there.
There was one where you had the
I've-
Fukushima video and it kept like playing in the background.
There are 3 videos on how to do summary 3.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll look at those.
Okay.
That sounds
thoroughly
pretty cool,
again.
once you get the hang of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your wish has been granted. But did you say there was some weird audio going in the back, though?
Yeah, I think it was week 11 or week 10
Okay.
last week, to be specific.
Oh, and then one other thing, we just, based on the discussion you and I had this morning, Robert, I'll take a look at the syllabus. The class does start at 9:30.
Yeah.
It's on the
I've just been
syllabus.
out of the loop.
No problem. Okay, and then, yeah. So, problem set 2 is due, and we'll take a look at that, next. And then, Peter and Tim have been grading, Peter has been grading the problem sets, and I've been grading the summaries. Tim's been taking a look at them too, but, yeah, and I had somebody turn in summary 4 under summary 1, so just make sure you're keeping track of what summaries go where. Yeah, okay. But again, these are the due dates. So let's take another peek at a summary 3. And I think what I'll do, I'm just going to pick on somebody who's not in the class right now. I'll just go back into a previous semester's summary 3. Yeah, so here's one.
I think it popped up underneath.
Yeah, it's got a weird habit. I don't know if it's a screen thing or.
Now that I know that you don't mind, like, exceeding the 300 word count.
300 words is the minimum.
Yeah, like, it'll make it a lot easier to write a paper.
300 words is the minimum,
You
yeah.
actually do try to condense it all, 'cause
Okay, so Ryan Carson is currently working up at the Judith Gap Wind Farm as a wind technician. He came through on a military scholarship. He was a Iraq War veteran, and just one of those neat guys. So I'll just show
what
you
was his name again?
Ryan Carson. And if you get a chance, I hope you get a chance to meet him. So, right off the bat, he uses a title. It could have been a little catchier: analysis of world of meters, or use something like predicting the future, or something to that effect. And here's one thing I do want to mention while we're on the topic: Newton's equations, which do involve actual parabolic formulas. Y equals x squared plus y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, actually, predict the flight of ballistic missiles, for example, or baseballs, or the moon, et cetera. So, knowing Newton's laws allows you to, do things like hit your enemy and not your friends with missiles. It also allows you to hit the moon when you're flying there and not fly off somewhere else. So that's the power of these equations. Just kind of FYI. Okay, so on the website, worldometer.info, it gives a vast array of estimated real-time data, which range from the world population to emails sent in a day. It's nice, just pick it up, oh wow, that's there too. Of which a selected number of data points have been taken over a period of time, of which this paper compares them and shows them as data on 3 different types of graphs. A little bit of a run-on sentence, but anyway. Linear, exponential, and parabolic, to give the best representation of the figures. So it tells you right away what he's doing. The first of the data comparisons are between human population growth and CO2 emissions for the world, in which the CO2 emissions are increasing faster than the population growth. Again, this is a sentence fragment. Steer away from sentences like that. Anyway, which indicates that since the world is developing at a rapid pace, the need for more and more energy to power people's lives is evident, plus all the energy needed from new consumers coming from emerging markets. So, it's a good broad overview. Now, what he's done, he has the figure in there. He has the figure caption. What he's missing is just say, here's what he should have put in: the linear, exponential, and quadratic models are shown in. Okay, so here I'm going to turn on Control-Shift-8. You can see this is pasted as a figure. It's pasted as a picture. It's got a paragraph symbol after it. So I would go up here to paragraph and keep that with next. So the figure is now going to stay with the figure caption. You don't want the figure caption on the page after it. And I didn't put a bunch of returns in. I just said this paragraph, and that is a paragraph because it's got a paragraph symbol right after it, stays with the following paragraph. And there it is because it's got a little paragraph symbol after it. Okay. Now, I would also go in here and insert a bookmark because I don't think he automatically, I don't think so. Maybe I'll try one quick second. References, let me just see here, insert caption. No, he didn't. So what I would have recommended is inserting these figure captions. Let's just do that. let's just do that right now. References, insert caption, here's figure 1. Boom, it's in there. Make this all 12-point font. Figure 1. Another thing I would recommend doing is make the figure captions a different font, like italics, for example, and then leave the figure 1 itself bold, but everything else can be not bold. So that way you're like, oh, I can see that's a figure caption. Okay, so I've got that in there. Now I'm just going to take the same little insert that I did. I'll copy that text. I'll paste it. I'll paste it. And now if you update these fields, you can see that they're automatically numbered. So I'm just doing a right click, update field, there we go. So I've got my automatic figure captions in there. So the linear, exponential, and quadratic models are shown in, now I can go insert, cross-reference, and we've already put in figures. So you can do bookmarks, footnotes, endnotes, equations, figure, and there they are. They're automatically in there. I didn't type any of that. Word knows that is a caption. Label and number, insert, 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 done. Shown in figure 1, comma, figure 2, comma, and figure 3, and okay. All right, so now you see them, and now you want to discuss them. Again, this was, and again, he's got a bunch of extra weird returns in there. You don't need to do that. If you do that little keep with next thing that I showed you, you can pull this guy in. Another thing that I kind of prefer to have single spacing. It's just easier for me. I can read it more quickly because there's more font on the screen. So I just single spaced the whole thing. I've got a macro in my Word that just does it. I hit Control-7 and boom, it's done. And then I can also get rid of, so again, this is exactly how I grade your papers. I'll get rid of all this extra stuff. References also, this should be, I'll go up to paragraph, so here's home, paragraph, keep with next. It could be that isn't on the same page ultimately, but at least it's there, you don't need that. Okay. I would also recommend just centering these guys. So if you do Control-E, now that's centered. Same thing with all these other figures. I'll just scroll up here, all the way up through all of them. Do a Control-E. Yeah, Kat?
So do we want 6 graphs total?
6 graphs total, yep.
So it's through the 3 days and then comparing the 2 variables, is that what it is?
Yeah, what you're going to want to do, I'll answer that in one quick sec. Yep,
No
yep,
problem.
yep. Keep with next. Yeah. So let's see how he's done with this. So it's the minimum, again, to reiterate, the minimum number of points that you need for an exponential or a quadratic or 3, just like 3 points to find a circle, 2 points to find a line. You can do a linear extrapolation with 2 points. Ryan has actually used 4 points. So he's gone over the course of 6 days, two days in between each one, to get 4 points. And what he's done is plotted, now I think if I look at this correctly, CO2 is the yellow line, population is the black line, and he's written this out in billions. And this is actually incorrect because This is not plotted in billions, this is plotted in ones, because he has 10 to the ninth. If that 10 to the ninth weren't there and it said 7.1, then it would be in billions. So that's another error. CO2 emissions in tons, that is correct, because about this time of year, we're closing in on 30 billion tons. And just for the sake of argument, let's just see where we are right now.
You could do the same, like, put gigatons. and
You could do the gigatons, yeah.
Just remove all those extra units out of the equation, or out of the graph, so
Yep.
it looks a little more uniform and clean.
Yep, little fewer numbers to look at. Okay, so this is, so I think Ryan Carson published this 2 years ago, and at this time that year, the global population was at 7.2 or 7.4, so we've basically added, 2/3 of the U.S. population to the world population in 2 years. A little weird. A little strange that the entire United States of America has been added in 2 years, but there,
Easy to imagine, though.
there it is. The carbon, let's just look at CO2. 32 billion right now. It's a little surprising. I kind of thought that carbon emissions were dropping, but there it is. We're kind of in the thick of the data. So does that answer your question, though, Kat? That you want to have? I want you to plot human population and CO2 on two separate axes, and I'll go back and review exactly how to do that. So there's your linear.
3 points for each graph, and then you want 3 of them because you're doing 3 days.
There's also an error in his graphs I haven't shown you yet.
Okay.
I'll show you that error.
That'd be cool to measure the peaking of CO2 emissions and then watch it drop. Measure it dropping. That would be awesome.
Well, it does. I mean, each summer, the total CO2 in the atmosphere drops because of photosynthesis. And I can't remember the name of that curve. You remember the name of the curve? What's the name of the curve?
I remember that.
Longevery or somebody other? Just can't remember.
Yeah.
It was anyways the scientist who first plotted it.
Yeah.
There's exponential, there's parabolic. And so figures 4, 5, and 6, he was plotting deaths per year. Which, presumably also increases. Now, the error that he made in the plots that he showed, that he gave, is here. So this is the Excel spreadsheet that we built over the past couple of weeks. So what you can see here from a broad perspective, this is linear, this is exponential, this is parabolic. This is the linear raw data. This is the extrapolated data. This is what you want to include in your summary 3. This is the graph right here. Ryan put this one in, but this is the one you want to show with your extrapolation. And I've already gone through the videos on how to produce these, so I'm not going to go over them again. But that's it. And I think he shot this forward, and I think the one he finally submitted was more correct. Okay. So then let's just see what his little narrative says. The second data comparison, deaths per year and human population growth are compared. I don't know where this sentence structure is coming from. I mean, typically you would say, comma, of which the data show the human population is growing at a much faster pace than people are dying. And if you see this in your, green means that's the word you want to put in. Green means go with this word, and the red means what happened. And I guess red means like, yeah, okay. Even though on the graph, even though on the graph, the data appears to be nearly linear, this is due to the two different scales on which the data is displayed. And a pretty good analogy for that, back in the day, we used to think the world was flat, and given a sufficiently large surface and a sufficiently small perspective, everything looks flat. So that's one way to look at it. Should help correlate with pollution input. For the more people in society, the more need for everything. In both comparisons, the model most likely to be accurate for the last day is the exponential graphs. Due to the fact that all numbers are related to the data points have been continually growing. So, it's a good, nothing wrong with that. Okay, so is that clear on where we're going with summary 3?
As far as the graphs go, I guess I'm just trying to get it formulated. So for the first 3 graphs, it's going to be comparing population and CO2 through the 3 different data points that you did.
Yep.
And then the last 3 are comparing whatever third variable that you choose with, what are you comparing it with, I guess?
The third graphs, here, I'll show you exactly.
And I'm sure that's probably all the instruction sheets.
Yeah, that's all right, I'll go over it.
Thanks.
So what's your, so here are your 6 graphs. So this is linear, exponential, parabolic, linear, exponential, parabolic, population, 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 CO2, 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 population, 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 your favorite variable, your favorite variable, your favorite variable. Yeah, I mean, Ryan did that correctly, and his favorite variable was deaths per year. Okay, let's take a commercial break, and then I'll do a little bit of problem set 2, and then we'll look at chapter 11.